Welcome to Full Week Recap. I'm Dart, and we're going to review this week's video game, TV, and movie news. Speaking of which was...
Yes, I got my glasses back, but I also got a haircut. Did you notice that?
Robert Downey Jr. spills the beans that Spider-Man is coming in the Civil War Marvel film. How close will it be to the comic book storyline? Doomsday is confirmed to be in Batman vs. Superman film. Does this lead to a different plotline? People have watched The Force Awakens and utterly complain because it is too similar to the original? Why? The Flash Season 2 is coming fast. Reverse Flash returns. Why so many enemies? Speculation about Marvel's Civil War film that pits their iconic heroes against each other in teams like a paintball match between friends, except with actual fighting skills and weaponry, is high. This film introduces Black Panther, one of the first black superheroes from Marvel to tip the scales one way or the other. Iron Man's actor, Robert Downey Jr., in an interview lets slip that Spider-Man is going to make an appearance in this film, and not those forgettable Sony incarnations. It is a brand new Marvel and Sony co-op approved version played by someone who looks like they're 12 years old. Spider-Man was supposed to always look very young. I mean, he's a young character. But for him to be played as somebody as young looking as Tom Holland, that's going to make things a little bit different than how we're used to it from Tobey Maguire. Which was equally as unfitting for Spider-Man, but at least he didn't look like an extra from Mother Goose Club. In the comic books, Iron Man gets his ass handed to him by Captain America, but ultimately Iron Man gets the last laugh as Captain America is assassinated on his way from court. Iron Man also convinces Spider-Man to join his side and reveal his identity, so there's that. There's no saying how closely they're going to stick together to the source material from the comic books, but thus far, Marvel Cinematic Universe has just been kind of cinematic gobbledygook. Tom Holland himself, in a separate interview, further confirms his presence, then reveals he will have standalone films as well. According to even further proof of Web Slinger's sort of reveal, one of the movie's directors says he believes Tom Holland to be a convincing Spider-Man. So there is hope for Civil War, whether or not it follows the comics closely. In the coming movie Batman vs. Superman,
obvious winner there, am I right?
A recent trailer and interviews reveal that classic Superman villain Doomsday is the red-eyed Hulk ripoff seen here. Originally, Doomsday is a genetic experiment from Krypton gone wrong. In the movie, it has been said that it's Lex Luthor's experiment on the dead body of General Zod that goes wrong. So they're kind of similar. Clearly, the caped Affleck and the uncharacteristic Superman will clash, but with all predictability of the sunset, Doomsday will be the clear villain that reunites them to defeat him. Doomsday is said to be the only villain who can truly kill Superman, and in the comics, actually did, leading to a giant arc called The Death of Superman. Since this movie is supposedly the dawn of justice, they might use this same story from the comic where Doomsday kills Superman. That would clearly be enough of a reason for their cinematic universe to gather Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Batman, Green Lantern, Flash, Cyborg, etc. to form the Justice League. It would be hard to believe that they formed the Justice League just to defeat Doomsday. It's not enough of a motivation. Rumors say that the Flash is going to be in it, Wonder Woman is going to be in it, obviously, there's screenshots and video. Aquaman is going to be in it, there's screenshots. All we're missing is Cyborg, and there's no mentions of Green Lantern as far as I know. But clearly, with this many characters and a motivation of Superman's death, possibly, this is clearly a Justice League origin story.
The people have spoken, and now judge The Force Awakens. The verdict? Hatred. Why?
People are complaining that it is too similar to the original film's plotline. Seeing how this movie was created by a person who is known as the reboot guy, I half believe this movie to be a reboot, and thinking that way helped make it enjoyable. For people to say that they don't like it for being too similar to the original is absolutely bonkers. People hated the prequels for being too new with too many elements and odd characters. So they hate the prequels, and they hate a new one that is the exact film that they loved back then? I get the feeling nothing would be good enough. If you don't want a movie that introduces new, different ways of displaying things, and you don't want a movie that presents old ideas in a fresh way, what exactly do you want? You have to remember that J.J. Abrams' job is to interest new viewers and young people, as well as original fans and people who probably didn't follow these movies since the originals came out. So he has to get new people associated with the feel and the world of Star Wars here, and he's got to entertain all of the original fans here. According to that thinking, naysayers want a new idea presented in an old format, but you don't want it to be as goofy as Jar Jar, but not as dramatic or fast-paced as The Force Awakens, and not as slow as the space politics of the prequels. Basically, you want a completely different movie movie franchise. Go watch The Avengers or something. I, for one, was underwhelmed by The Force Awakens, but I didn't think it was a terrible film. Yes, it followed the plotline of the original movie to a T, but you have to remember that not everybody in the world likes Star Wars, and not everybody is familiar with things that are in it, so they don't know who these characters are, or what they're doing, or why they're there, or what these universes even are. I mean, there's a lot of not knowing in the past 33 years since The Return of the Jedi came out, and it's J.J. Abrams' job to resolve all of those issues at once in less than 2 hours. He had to make a compromise. J.J. made a movie new viewers and kids would enjoy, fast-paced, exciting, mysterious, and tried filling it with fan service for all the old fans. This movie had to get new fans and young fans interested first. Did you forget that the last movie came out 11 years ago? And the last movie that followed the plot featuring Han, Luke, Leia, and Chewbacca was in 1983. You could have had a kid that would be 33 years old in that time. 33 years. The Flash is a fun television show full of humor, mystery, action, romance. It's a decent little time consumer, kind of like Angry Birds or Team Fortress 2. Barry Allen, or The Flash, goes through so many obstacles in Season 1, but it ultimately feels balanced. Until the rumors and news about Season 2 roll around and browbeat the living shit out of it. Half of Season 2 has come out, introducing odd dimensional travel plot lines and enemies that seem to defeat Barry more than anything. Barry is trying to beat the big-time boss named Zoom, who actually completely cock-blocks Barry entirely, dragging him through the city ridiculed and crumpled and defeated. The show challenged Barry before, but this is just full-on first-degree assault and possibly sexual assault. I mean, it is excessive how many enemies they're slapping into this thing. But now the television show is telling us that Caitlyn is turning evil, probably temporarily, that the Reverse Flash is returning, and Barry Allen still has to kill Zoom. Give the guy a goddamn break! It gets more confusing though, since some of the characters are going to Legends of Tomorrow, which is the third sort of Flash universe show on CW. The other is Arrow, admittedly better than Flash. According to Season 1's future newspaper that cuts off, Barry Allen starts the Justice League? Does this tie into the movie, or possibly the TV show? Who knows, but clearly that means Barry doesn't get killed by any of these characters. Although the show did introduce Wally West, who will become Kid Flash in the comics, more than likely on the TV show as well. Barry dies in that instance and Wally becomes the Flash. So who knows? The Flash has made decently accurate depictions of time and dimensional travel thus far. Maybe it will keep going. That's all we've got time for. Thanks for watching. Remember, if you liked this video, make sure you rate, comment, and subscribe. And as always, have a good week.
It was a trade-off. I could either have my glasses or my hair.